Yeah, look, when a lot of people talk about Web3, they talk about this whole notion of record management and, keeping the information clear. There's a lot of misinformation out there, unfortunately, when people are like, oh, well, if you send money if you send crypto, if you send Bitcoin, it's for nefarious actors. And, maybe there's some nefarious actors that use those types of transactions, but you can track the whole transaction exchange, right? So from endpoint to endpoint what happens. So cash is a little bit easier because you don't know, you can't track that overall. So with that, it comes the importance of the data, right? Like how important and how clean is the data that's going on chain? Because it's if you have, to John's point, is if you have a, centralized AI feeding the data layer, right? Then there's going to be a layer or a level of bias behind that information. And now we have, a record management on a model that has some level of bias behind it. And ultimately, that's one of the biggest issues when it comes to AI is the levels of bias based off of how the model is being trained. So when you think about from a Web3 context, let's not overcomplicate what Web3 is. All it is a better settlement and record management layer. And so when you had a question about token, when you start thinking about what tokens and how that represents, it's just basically the exchange or the reward for utilizing said blockchain. Are there people that create tokens for the sake of tokens and they run them up and then there's a whole trading secondary market activity? Yeah, but that. I don't think we need to get into that for this conversation because none of us are doing that here. Just like any technology, you can use it however you'd like to. And I think the biggest things when it comes to this convergence of Web3 and AI is simply how do you know what's real versus what is fake? And how do you understand who's putting the data into the model or whether it's AI based or just data in general? When we think about tokenization, for example, on a NIF context, we have people all the time like, well, here's what we do is we authenticate a product, right? And so let's say a high fashion purse manufacturer tokenizes that product and creates it, that's coming from them. So if Devin decides to tokenize a product and it's the same purse manufacturer, well, it's not coming from the same smart contract. So ultimately we know it's not the same. Where the record came from is different. And so you apply that, across everything essentially. Where's the point of origin? Where's the provenance?